Okay, so today we have I Will Dare by The Replacements. The Replacements are one of my favorite bands I've come across through the channel. This song has been requested. I've seen that it's been ranked as one of, if not their best song. So I'm intrigued as hell. I did take off a week there. I was sick. Sick as a dog, as they say, and I still have a bit of a cold sore. I mean, my God, it was just terrible, and I couldn't do a video because I would have been sniffling and all that stuff. So I took a week off, and I'm finally back. I have not stood here in this position in a while, and it feels weird. But I thought, why not come back to a band I love? So here we go. Let's get into it. Talk about it after. Let's go. The opening track to Let It Be. Good Lord. All right. I'm still sick. I Will Dare by The Replacements. So like I said, I've been sick for a while. Wanted to come back to a band that I really like. I really enjoy listening to. And this is just so different. I mean, I say I'm still sick. My God, the coughing has not gone away. This is kind of unaggressive. There's still tones and there's still sounds of The Replacements in the song. I mean, it's still a rocker in a way, but there's a country flair as well. It's poppy as all hell. Might be the poppiest effort, at least I've heard. I haven't heard everything, so I don't know other ones maybe that are poppy too. But yeah, this is some good pop as well. But yeah, there's layers to the song, just like I would say there's layers to the lyrics as well. And I just love too. I mean, you have a kind of a lackadaisical song here, maybe you would say. More of a slowed down. I don't know if you'd even say slowed down, but it's not like as intense as a song that's also on this record, like Unsatisfied. This song opens the album, and again, it's jangly as all get out. It's bouncy, it's jumpy, which it reminds me of a Smiths track here. I don't know why, but maybe a track that comes to mind, like what difference does it make? And I don't even know if you play those back to back, if there'd be any similarities, but that's just a song that's off the top of my big fat head. But yeah, it's very Smiths-like. Again, in the jangly guitar work, and, you know, Bob Stinson was all over that. My God, the mandolin here. Again, that kind of gave me the country flair, the mandolin. And Peter Buck, who was a guest guitarist on the track, apparently he did the guitar solo. I did read that Bob Stinson apparently got fed up. My God, again. And he got fed up, and he said, I can't play a guitar solo on this. I don't know what to do. And I guess Paul said, okay, well, Peter, why don't you do it? I mean, you got Peter Buck there, guitarist of REM. Why not utilize him? My God. And I guess Peter wanted to produce the song too, but he ended up not producing it, but he played on it anyway. But yeah, I just want to say, Peter's work there and Paul on the mandolin there, it gave it kind of a honky-tonk feel. I mean, a bit more of even more of a bounce. And like I said, poppy, country, rocking as well. It's just nuts. And the main point I was trying to get to, though, it's still, even though it is unlike a song, again, like Unsatisfied or Can't Hardly Wait, something like, or even Here Comes a Regular. And even Here Comes a Regular might be a song that, again, is not as intense as Unsatisfied. And Unsatisfied is one of the greatest songs I've ever heard. I always have to say that. But even still, Paul can't take, you know, he can't chill. You know, he can't take a chill pill, as they say, with his voice, his vocals. I mean, when Paul Westerberg sings, you know, it's Paul Westerberg. He has one of the most unique voices. I hate that word, but he does. And there's a word I'm trying to think of. You know, his signature voice. I mean, you know when it's him. It's distinctive. There's a word. And you know, it's so guttural. It's so scratchy, and it's powerful. And again, I know he was a young man back here, but he sounds like he's like, you know, maybe he's like in his 40s or something. And that, I mean that in a good way. It's just his voice. It sounds weathered, and I just love it so much. And again, even on a song like this, where he's not talking about being unsatisfied or whatever, he's talking about love, I would say. And he's talking about not being afraid to, you know, take chances and I guess, and fail, whatever. And I guess maybe they might be talking about the band with that too. But yeah, talking about those things, his voice is still so powerful, and it's just so booming. And I just love that, again, he never takes a back seat. You know, he never calms down or whatever. His voice is always just so fucking nuts. But anyway, so that kind of made me chuckle, and I don't know, it just made me giggle for some reason. But yeah, really enjoyed, again, the jangliness, the bounciness to everything. I like to talk about the mandolin. I loved how there was a mandolin in here. There were, as well, the drumming, the shuffling drumming too. That gave it a big jump too. I mean, I can't say it enough. I mean, it reminds me of the Smiths, reminds me of some jangle pop, and I didn't think that was going to be what was going to happen here, but what a great opener to the album again, and just kind of what a different take for the band to do. But they kind of showed, I guess, their prowess, or they just show that, yeah, we can do other different things too. We're not just a big rock and roll band, whatever the hell, and you know, we can go other places with our genres. So I just love, yeah, the balls to do this at the same point. And I did read too that apparently Paul Westerberg, he wrote this song, and he thought it was going to be a surefire hit. It was the only single off of this album, Let It Be, which is a great album by itself too. I got to listen to more songs off of it, but from what I've heard, it's been great. But yeah, and he thought it was going to be a surefire hit, and it wasn't. And again, it's just those stories you hear of people who think, oh, the song's going to be big, it's going to be huge, and then it's not as big as, I guess it doesn't chart as well, but it has become a fan favorite here, and at least the fans like it, I guess. But anyway, we look at the personnel here. I've talked about these guys before, but here we are once more, and that rhymes. But Chris Mars on drums and tambourine. You got to have a tambourine in there. My goodness gracious. Bob Stinson, lead guitar, like I talk about here. He was obviously vital to the track. Tommy Stinson, his half brother here. He's just his brother at the end of the day, though, anyway. On bass guitar here, too, Paul Westerberg. Vocals, 12-string electric rhythm guitar. I mean, the guitar work here is just so noticeable, so in your face, and again, a jangly way. And he was also on mandolin, like to talk about, and production. There you go there. And even though, again, I talked about how unaggressive and maybe not as punchy this song is, or intense as other songs I've heard from them, but it's still very grimy, and it's still very dirty. I mean, it's still very much Replacements-esque. I mean, I gotta say that much too. And Peter Buck, like I talked about, on the guitar solo, and that's one thing too. I guess I read a lot of shit, but Peter Buck has said a lot of the time when people come up to him, they want to talk about I Will Dare. I mean, they probably ask REM questions as well, but a lot of the time he says, you know, that's one question he gets asked all the time, like, you were on I Will Dare? My goodness gracious. So anyway, I talked about kind of, you know, what the song may be about, daring, you know, to go places, whatever the hell, talking about love here. He's infatuated with ages. I mean, my goodness gracious. But there is a thing, though, on songfacts.com, which I want to talk about because it has to do with the song. So apparently, U2's I Will Follow irritated Paul Westerberg, and again, this is from Song Facts, just word for word. It irritated Paul Westerberg so badly that he wrote 2 songs about it. The first one was Kids Don't Follow, and the second was I Will Dare. Now, I've seen apparently Paul perhaps misinterpreted what U2's song I Will Follow meant, and he got pissed off about it, whatever. But either way, at the end of the day, U2 kind of somehow I guess inspired this song, and the Kids Don't Follow. But at the end of the day, at least Paul was inspired by something, because again, this song was a great one. But let's go to these lyrics now, because I just wanted to get that out there and make that clear as mud that U2 influenced the man himself here. So how young are you? How old am I? My goodness gracious. Let's count the rings around my eye. I mean, like talking about his eyes like they're a tree trunk or whatever, counting the rings and showing. Again, he feels older than he is, because again, at the end of the day here, Paul was not an old man here back in '84, I don't think. Anyway, how smart are you? How dumb am I? Don't count on any of my advice. Now, I mean, again, we're talking a lot about spontaneity. I think that's how you say that word. We're talking a lot about taking chances. And again, here, the narrator, Paul, whoever you want to say, some self-doubt in there, but at the same time, we talk about self-doubt, but he's still talking about not being, afraid in a way to fail, or not being afraid to take chances. But he needs this other person, whoever it is, whether it's a band member, his bandmates he's talking about here, but also maybe a lover, I don't know, a relationship person here, whatever, somebody who else is with him. He needs their assistance, he needs their love, he needs their support, whatever, to do these things still. So again, it's just, talking about that link between the two of them. Don't count on any of my advice. Again, he's very down on himself, but still he needs this person, like I said, to help him out. Meet me any place, anywhere, anytime. Now I don't care. Meet me tonight. If you will dare, I might dare. Again, if you'll do it, I'll do it. He needs to be grabbed in that way. He needs to be helped along to dare, whatever that means. Again, to dare. And I did see a quote too from Paul saying that the song was kind of about the band daring to flop, or daring to have a bad song, or whatever. Just daring. They'll do anything. They don't care. They'll do anything they want and see how it goes. And I guess that's probably what's going on there. And again, just having that support of I'll do it if you do it. If I jump off a cliff, I will. Here you come too. Call me on Thursday if you will, or call me on Wednesday, better still. Ain't lost yet, so I gotta be the winner. Again, I ain't lost yet. I still know where I am. I'm still doing okay. We're still afloat, but so I must be doing all right. Again, I just think about how I must be the winner. I just think about how, again, just I do these things, I take chances, and I'm still here. I'm still alive. I still feel okay. Everything still seems to be okay. So, let's take some more chances, perhaps. Fingernails and cigarettes, a lousy dinner. Again, I feel like cigarettes comes up in a replacement song quite a bit. How young are you? Oh, come on. And again, how young are you? I was like, are we getting into a controversial topic here? Talking about ages and, how young this person seems to be. I don't know what, this lover? I don't know. Either way, meet me any place or anywhere, anytime. The chorus comes in once again. And I didn't mention, but during that second verse, the way Paul ramps up his voice and he kind of, I guess, becomes more guttural. He gets a little faster and all that stuff. I just really enjoyed that part too. It's not like he's rapping or anything, but he gets a little faster anyway, faster paced. Meet me any place, anywhere, anytime. Again, he's up for anything, and I just love that. I feel like that's a big message of the song. And then the third and last verse, how young are you? How old am I? Again, he's obsessed with that. Count the rings around my eyes, and again, I just love the visual there of his eyes almost being like a tree. He feels older than he is. I'm older than I wish to be. My goodness gracious. How smart are you? How smart are you? And now he's, again, he's getting so much more intense, I would say, near the end of this track, and asking these questions. How dumb am I? How dumb am I? He still, thinks he's dumb. Dumb by Nirvana comes to mind. I had to pause for a coughing fit, but we're pretty much at the end here. Just the last chorus. I mean, like I said, much of the same as the other ones, but there is a change here, just to mention. I like how he goes from saying earlier, if you dare, I might dare, something along those lines. And then at the end here, when he talks about, if you will dare, I will dare. Now he's not saying I might dare. He's saying I will dare. And then you go on, now I don't care, maybe tonight. If you will dare, I will dare. Again, he's still relying on this person. But at the same time, we're talking about being adventurous, the spontaneity here, talking about just taking chances, taking life as it comes. Bad things will happen, good things will happen. That's life. Let's just live together. Let's take these chances, take risks, whatever the hell that is. And especially if you're talking about being in a band, my God, you're going to have flops. You're going to have bad albums, bad songs. I mean, I just love where they're coming from on this. And yeah, it's just, even though it's a different, different layers to the track here. It's poppy, like I talked about, but it's still the replacements, it's still punchy, like I said, at points. And anyway, I don't know. Is there a bad replacement song? I feel like any song I listen to by them, I'm gonna like, just because Paul's voice is one of the greatest voices I've ever come across. But anyway, my nose is running now, so I guess I'll end this thing. So thanks for requesting this. A lot of people wanted me to get to it, so here you go. I was happy to finally come here. So thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, subscribing, commenting, all this stuff, all the support. I'm glad I'm finally doing another video. It's been too long, like I said, because this is one of the only places I interact with people. Good Lord, and especially, even at my job, I work by myself. So what the fuck? So here we are. Anyway, thanks for everything. I'll talk to you guys again soon.